Hey guys, it's Julie here, and I'm making this video today because I wanted to talk about featurism and how it affects black women. So the thing is, it's getting rampant online, maybe not yet so much in real life, but it's always an online discourse that happens where a black woman is undermined when she's being praised by the masses for being conventionally attractive, because there are certain people who think that praising a black woman's beauty only happens when this said beauty conforms to European beauty standards. So they find praising these beautiful women to be problematic. They would say, why not women that look more African? Why always these type of women? And this is literally the type of women they're talking about. These are the type of women they say are being praised because they are Eurocentric. But yeah, let's first define featurism. Well, if you Google the word, the AI overview simply defines featurism as the practice of judging and valuing individuals based on specific physical features, often in relation to Eurocentric beauty standards. It involves prioritizing certain characteristics such as skin tone, hair texture, eye shape, and nose size that are typically associated with European ancestry, while devaluing or diminishing those that deviate from these standards. That was a lot. That was a lot. So I want to talk about featurism in a way that I don't really see being talked about. I also want to address certain issues that people had with the points that I made in my last video titled, Can a Black Girl Just Be Pretty Without Being Called Eurocentric? So I'll suggest that you watch that video. Okay, so in that video, I talked about the crab mentality that many black people have, where when a black girl is called beautiful, they would swoop in to try to dismantle why that happened and why that's offensive. They will say things like, oh, you only find this black woman beautiful because of her features. She has small features and she looks Eurocentric. That's why you find her beautiful. And I get that many of you think that this is a noble quest to embark upon, the nitpicking of a black woman's beauty, and the thorough investigation of why and how it's features to exalt one look over another. For example, people have said that Anokiai, the South Sudanese supermodel, is Eurocentric. They say that she's only praised for her beauty because, and I quote, she looks white or has features that are easily digestible to white people. I mean, this crowd even said that Lupita has Eurocentric features. I had to gasp and hold my chest a bit for that one. It will be the most African looking woman, but because people find them attractive, there will be people claiming that they are only found attractive because they are Eurocentric. The word Eurocentric is quickly turning into a buzzword. At this point, I'm convinced that if Jay-Z becomes the icon for black beauty tomorrow for some reason, people will still come out and say, oh, you people only find him attractive now because he looks European. Can you not see that you're starting to make attractiveness synonymous to being Eurocentric? I think it's silly to feel the need to want to nitpick why acknowledging a black woman's beauty is sinister. Let me give you one example of this behavior before I talk about some things I think we can learn from this. If you watch my last video, I gave several examples of this behavior of nitpicking features of black people when they are getting praised for their beauty and why it's getting weird. And it's not an isolated incident. Time and again, black women especially do this. Here is another post that went viral of a black man praising this female athlete. As you can see, she's dark-skinned, very cute. The thread is full of a lot of people praising her, but there is always that bitter, scheming, dissatisfied person who is biting their nails in the corner thinking, how can you find just her pretty? What about me and Shauna and Precious and Wuche? What is the real reason you find this woman pretty? Let's unpack that. She's tapping her fingertips together in the dark with fume coming out of her ears and her eyes red and watery, thinking, why not me? Then she spins the wheel of excuses. Aha! He doesn't really like black women. He only likes her because she looks white. Yes, this woman that is dripping in melanin, that looks comfortable in her skin, has a great smile, has a banging body and a glowing aura, that is also attractive, looks white. That has to be the only reason a black woman will be getting all this attention. So what does she do? Because she's a crab in a bucket, she tries to pull that woman down. So this is why I think most conversations about featurism is just circular with no goal. Watch how this woman tries to tackle the issue of featurism. So this is what is supposed to be an I mean well comment in a thread that is hyping up another woman that is not her. So this man tweets, man, dark-skinned women are beautiful. Sorry, dark-skinned women are a different kind of pretty. You can also see other comments from people thirsting after her. I swear, dark-skinned women always have that natural glow. Gold medalist just on the face card division all my days. And then here goes this comment. Y'all only say this when y'all see certain types of features. Love them all. Well, no, ma'am. People are allowed to have preferences. If he likes women that looks like that, then that's what he likes. You can't guilt trip people into finding you attractive in 2025. Let's talk about featurism. Let's talk about featurism. And then this is where the conversation starts and ends. Let's look at this person's 3-step routine of unpacking featurism, shall we? First, she tries to make the men feel stupid and bad for finding this obviously attractive woman attractive. You only like certain types of features because deep down you're anti-black. And she doesn't look black, does she? Does she? That's what she's basically saying. Then she starts to nitpick what makes that woman attractive and imply that she's just ordinary and not worthy of all this attention. But it's 2025 now, you can't say that. You have to be a girl's girl, remember? So wrap it up in woke verbiage. She's basically saying her small features make her attractive. If she didn't have that, you wouldn't even look twice because you don't like women that look like me. Then for the third step, she tries to include herself so she too can get a crumb of compliment. Oh, she's not pretty. We are all pretty. Love us all. If you look at her other comments when someone asks her to explain these features that are so bad to love on, she says smaller features, usually more expected by white or European people instead of the bigger, more exclusive, pronounced but still beautiful African features that get darker women called men and animals so commonly. But this is just textbook teenage mean girl angst in my opinion. Just call this woman ugly and a slut in a fit of jealousy and call it a day. It will be realer than this circumventing and lingo maneuver many of these people do. You know, it's so interesting because while editing this video, I was trying to think up names of black female celebrities or public figures that had this big, bulbous, pronounced features facially that these people are always talking about. They don't get enough praise. They don't get enough praise. And I could barely count them on one hand. I know of Serena Williams. I know of Michaela Cole. And even when I was looking up pre-colonial African women, I didn't just come across women with big eyes, big nose, big lips, big everything like they like to say is the major features that West Africans especially have. The features on so many of these women in these pictures are diverse. You will come across a woman with big nose, you come across a woman with smaller one, you come across a woman with dark skin, you come across a woman with smaller lips. Granted, there is an idea of what the average Negroid person looks like, but it's not a representation of all, or dare I say, majority. So many people have different features. Unlike other races, I believe Africans are the most diverse when it comes to features. So it's kind of odd when people only fixate on a certain type of features and claim it to be all Africans that look a certain way. If you do know public figures or celebrities that we can easily look up that have these big, wide, especially women that have these big, wide, broad features that are always talked about, please comment them below. Thank you. So back to what I was saying, sometimes it comes off like pure teenage tantrum when a dark-skinned woman is being praised for her beauty and people begin to pick apart why she's found beautiful in the first place. First, it was that dark skin in general was not found desirable by society. Now that people are showing it love, you're saying, well, it's only when the dark skin is on a beautiful woman, because that's what she actually means. Look at this woman's nose and lips. What's European about this? Y'all think every time a black woman is conventionally attractive, it's a good time to dismantle European beauty standards. Not actual European women, not black men. This behavior is usually reserved towards dark-skinned black women specifically. You only like a dark skin because she's beautiful. Well, duh! Do we have a way to peel back her dark skin to show her true white skin that she's hiding underneath her dark skin? Since you guys are so convinced she's a white woman wearing black skin, you make it sound so weird and airy when you say that a dark-skinned woman looks white. It's like you think people wake up in the morning and wear their skins like some sort of jumpsuit with a long zipper at the back. And I'm sure there's a cartoon about that, but real life doesn't work like that. Oh, let's take off her suit to reveal the European underneath it, shall we? Since that's the only excuse she has for being pretty. It does give loser mentality. Acting like there has to be a deeper, sneakier reason why people find dark-skinned women desirable. You have to start seeing things as she's not beautiful despite her dark skin and features, because to me, this woman has African features. Instead, see it as she's beautiful because of her African features. Angelina Jolie was the Hollywood beauty icon during the early 2000s. If you look at her features, she didn't exactly have smaller features. She had big lips in a period where big lips were not exactly seen as desirable. Her nose wasn't pencil thin. She had big forehead. She didn't have small features, as you guys like to call it. Like I said in my last video, being pretty is not just about race. It's having your facial features harmonize in a way that is appealing to the eyes and makes sense to the brain. Does indoctrination and conditioning play a part in what we find appealing? Of course. But I didn't see anyone crediting Angelina Jolie's beauty to Afrocentrism. Her being Caucasian made her beauty Eurocentric. She became the standard for pretty white women. That was the only requirement, being Caucasian, and that should be all the requirements to be Afrocentric, be black. It's so odd to call a pretty black woman white looking. You guys don't understand. It's like those girls in primary school that would see a light-skinned girl and make it a point to tell her, well, you know you're not even pretty. The only reason you are fine is because you are light-skinned. If you were dark-skinned, you'll be ugly. And they don't see the irony. And I could forgive that because they were kids. But what excuse do you have to be doing things like that in your 20s, in your 30s? Please, tighten up. Because how can you tell if somebody will be ugly if they are dark-skinned? What would you do? Paint their skin with polish to see how they would look if they were dark to satisfy your curiosity, to make yourself feel better. Now let's talk about how to actually tackle featurism, in my opinion. There is a common ground we can find in that discussion, and it's that yes, the world is largely governed by Eurocentric beauty ideals. The people that know how to sell themselves more usually saturate the markets. Black people don't know how to sell themselves. I mean, look at how you act when a black dark-skinned woman is being put on a pedestal. Oh, white this, it's European that. It's pathetic. Is what it is. If you watch my video, the reason why you'll never be beautiful, you'll see why there will always be casualties when it comes to hierarchies, because beauty is a ladder. There are people on top and there are people at the bottom, meaning that as long as we prioritize beauty and strive to be it, there will never be a time where everyone is seen as beautiful. It's like word and opposites. If there's a word, there will be an opposite. There will always be a standard for beauty and there will always be people who fall short of it. That's a hard pill to swallow, I know. Beauty is subjective. How many of us find things beautiful only because we've been made to see it that way? We can only strive to push beauty to be more accommodating, broader, but to get to a point where everyone just is beautiful, highly impossible. But how do we broaden what beauty is and can be? Exposure therapy. Normalizing and popularizing things. That's where the media plays its role and why it has the ability to shape our mindsets. Example, there was a time where big lips were made fun of, till later when it became sought after, and one of the pioneers of that I remember was Kylie Jenner, with how her lip kit shook the media. Mind you, I was a girl in a Nigeria government school minding my business with very limited access to the internet and the media, being notified that Kim Kardashian's sister has gotten a new set of lips that everyone was trying to achieve. Imagine that. Girls also wanted that Angelina Jolie full lips back then, but many black women have always had lips like that. Remember, beauty is what is popular. In that video, I also spoke about Winnie Harlow and how she's making a path for people with her type of skin condition to be included in what it means to be beautiful. Say it with me, exposure therapy. On my channel, I always tell women that their natural hair is beautiful. I show pictures of hairs beautifully styled, beautiful women wearing their beautiful natural hairs. I wear my own hair out 70% of the time, and I think I've been doing my own tiny share of quote-unquote reverse brainwashing people. Look at this hairstyle. When I wore it out, I was almost shy by the amount of times I got complimented. A girl even asked to take a picture of my hair. Now, she might go home and decide to go natural. How do I convince people that natural hair is beautiful if I'm wearing a wig 70% of the time? I know there are many black women who say, I can wear my wigs all the time and still think my natural hair is beautiful. I don't fully agree with that. Except your goal is to continue to feel like an alien whenever you wear your hair out due to how infrequently that happens, then sure. But my point is, you know what is pointless? If all I did to normalize natural hair was going to any post where there is a woman with straight hair being celebrated and going, oh, you only like her because her hair is straight, while I'm also wearing straight hairs on my page. Now, you don't have to be a full-blown activist to be able to call out something that's not right, but there is a bit of an irony when a black or African woman is being called Eurocentric by women who are wearing straight wigs and using makeup to contour their noses and features into oblivion, giving yourself a whole nose job with your contour, and you're talking about a black, dark-skinned woman about her being Eurocentric. Is it real activism, or are you just mad she naturally looks like what you've been trying to achieve with your makeup and filters? How do you want broad features to be normalized when you hate yours? If you don't sell yourself, you can't be mad at people for not buying it. That's why I never take those people who are always saying, oh, natural hair is only liked when it's long, when it's full, when it's thick, when it's healthy. I don't take you guys seriously, because you guys think that every other race normalize having broken, damaged, over bleached, dry, super processed hair and see that as a beauty standard. Go watch your commercials, go watch your adverts for hair products, and tell me when you've seen broken, dry, dehydrated hair being paraded as beautiful. But when people start posting these natural hair threads and celebrating beautiful, thick natural hair that's well styled, you people come with, oh, you can never post natural hair when it's not styled. Oh, you are just looking for things to complain about. Oh, you only post natural hair when it's beautiful. Oh, where are the dry natural hair that don't grow? Oh, why? Also, let's talk about how the reason dark-skinned women are getting included in what it means to be beautiful is because of the work so many before us have done and are still doing. There was a time when the complexions of so many of the women you attack today for being Eurocentric would have gotten a lot of their dreams cut short. At least take that into account before diminishing all efforts that have been made for people with Lupita's skin tone and features to be able to do what they do. On to the next topic. Can everyone be beautiful? Why can't everyone be beautiful? And the whole world should be happy and we can all bake rainbows and pies and talk about unicorns and fluffy clouds. While I think that featurism is a valid conversation to have, I also think that it is a way many people have chosen to cloak their own spite and jealousy. Most times, it's a circular conversation that yields no results. There are literal pages on YouTube where all they do is talk about how dark-skinned women are being fetishized, or dark-skinned women can never be loved on, or dark-skinned women are unloved, unchosen, and undesired. That's all they talk about. And when they do see a dark-skinned woman getting love, attention, and praises, they also want to talk about how the only reason she's getting that is because, drumroll, she looks white. You can't always want to unpack why a dark-skinned black woman is seen as beautiful by the masses every time it happens. At some point, it's like, okay, so what is all your activism about? Do you literally want your activism to yield no results? Because you are always suspicious. You are always thinking of people having ulterior motives when they praise dark-skinned people. So what do you want? What exactly is the goal of all the activism you've been doing for over 10 years on YouTube? At some point, it's probably just you grifting, or you just letting your own insecurity blind you. This is literally you guys when a dark-skinned black woman is being praised.
That's suspicious. That's weird.
But like I said, as long as beauty is something that people strive to be, there will always be the opposite of that. What I mean is, if you want a world where everyone is beautiful and nobody is ugly, you'll have to eradicate what it means to be beautiful. Looks will have to be meaningless, weightless. Do you see that happening for the human race? As for me, I don't think so. And when it comes to what we find beautiful, I think there is a mixture of societal conditioning, how we have evolved as human beings, and also a mixture of biology. Judging people by their looks is not just a shallow trend, it's also a safety mechanism humans have developed. The way people look tells you something about them. Do they look welcoming, happy, aggressive, menacing, fearful? It tells you whether to retreat or stay. Yes, racism affects how black people are perceived too, and that's something that needs to change. Like, people would see a black person coming and cross to the other side of the road or hold their purses tighter. These are prejudiced feelings. But looks matter in a way that people use it to protect themselves. For example, if I'm standing in line to buy a pancake on an early Monday morning on my way to work, and I look ahead of the line and see that the person selling looks filthy, hair all out and about, sweat dripping off their faces and onto the wares, fingernails blackened and dirty, guess what I'll be doing? I'll be exiting the line immediately before I catch something. Or if I'm walking home at night and a huge menacing man starts walking behind me, the first thing I'm thinking is not, oh, don't judge people by how they look. I'm going to be unsettled. Because at the end of the day, I am a woman with the figure of a man walking behind me at night. The thing about beauty is that there is also a standard for every community. There are many people of different races that fall short of the beauty standards. It's not just a black person thing. Should we start calling white people who are not beautiful Afrocentric? Since we call all black people that are beautiful Eurocentric. Is that the goal? In conclusion, if you want black beauty to be celebrated, widely accepted, and elevated, stop selling it as Eurocentric. You guys suck at marketing blackness. Beautiful white women with big features are still considered white, Eurocentric. Think about it. Your ancestors are rolling in their graves at having to survive genocides, harsh weather conditions, starvation, being hunted, etc. to pass on their features to you, only for people that look like them to call it Eurocentric. Tighten up. Anyways, that's all I have for this video. I would love to hear your thoughts on this, and I'll see you in my next video. If you've made it far into this video, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye!